I used to think you had to spend big money to trust a pistol, but then I watched a guy at the range run circles around me with a gun that cost less than my holster. That, my peeps, stunk. And so I started digging, and what I found flipped everything I believed about price and performance. These aren't toys or one-mag wonders. These are the workhorses under $500 that refuse to die. I run them dirty, dry, and flat out abused, and a few of them still shock me every time I squeeze the trigger. By the end of this list, you'll see which cheap gun I actually carry now and which one nearly made me quit buying expensive ones for good. Let the smoke clear, the hunt starts now. You know, not every gun's meant to sit in a display case. Some are just built to work. This one's the kind you grab when you've got a job to do and you don't feel like spending $500 to do it. It's plain, honest, the kind that shows up, runs all day, and never asks for thanks. When you first hold it, it doesn't whisper anything fancy. It just says, "I'll get it done." The grip feels right. The slide moves like it's been tuned by someone who actually shoots and not by some guy in an office. I've thrown cheap ammo through it, hollow points, even a few boxes that should have jammed. Not once did it hiccup. It's hammer-fired, polymer frame, straightforward controls. Nothing clever, nothing fragile. The trigger's long and a little rough, yeah, but it breaks the same way every single time. You don't fight this gun, you learn its rhythm, and once you do, it's like a handshake that never slips. This one, Ruger Security 9. Under $300 in most shops, and it earns every cent. You're not buying flash, you're buying trust. Now the next one, smaller frame, sharper bite. Do you sometimes forget you're carrying? I did. Rainy morning, hoodie stuck to my side, hands full of groceries, and this little thing just sat there like a ghost. That's what got me. Under $500, and it hides cleaner than most guns twice the price. But draw it once, and it wakes up. Slide snaps, trigger bites, recoil straight back instead of sideways. It's a small gun that refuses to act small. Every press feels sharp, not spongy. You can tell it was built by someone who actually carries and not just sells them. Half a pound lighter, and it still shoots like it's angry at paper. At 7 yards, the hit stack dead center. That's not luck, mind you. That's a micro pistol built with discipline. Taurus GX4 carry. I carried it through heat, sweat, and rain. I drew it cold, and it didn't choke once. No chatter, no hangups, no surprises. The trigger reset alone will make you grin. $250, maybe $320 if your dealer's greedy, and you're getting every cent of it back in trust. A carry gun that doesn't ask for forgiveness. It disappears when you don't need it and reminds you it's there when you do. The first time I picked this one up, I laughed. Heavy, clumsy, like someone welded a toolbox to a pistol and called it done. People put this one on jam lists for a reason. Hear me say that first. Under $250, and it's tempting, but cheap comes with strings. I fed it garbage practice rounds, and it hiccuped, not once, but enough to make you notice. That's the truth. Don't let an internet gag or a smiling review hide the night when it spat a case and begged for mercy. Test it before you trust it. It's blunt, it's crude, it'll run like a stubborn dog on good days and choke on the wrong stuff. No pretty finish, no slick controls. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it'll remind you why you own a toolbox in the first place. Name, since you're going to ask anyway, High Points C9. Slide steel, simple internals, warranty that sounds like a dare. Price in 2025, often under $250. Say it out loud and let it sink. Final line, if you buy one, test it with the exact ammo you plan to carry. Test mags until you stop holding your breath, and don't assume cheap forgives sloppy feeding. That's the only honest way to handle this gun. 3-inch groups at 7 yards from something you can buy for under 500. Say it out loud and let it set in. I walked into the line expecting a cheap compromise, and the paper shut me up faster than the guy next to me. Same target, same hands, same ammo. String after string, and the whole stacked neat. The slide tracked like a ruler. The reset felt like someone put thought where it counts. That kind of calm accuracy out of a budget package isn't flashy, it's dangerous. I ran it against a gun twice the price, and the difference was smaller than I thought. Not identical, not a miracle, but the TP9SF kept pace in ways that made me stop talking about sticker price and start talking about hits. That's when it earned its spot on this list. Price in 2025? Usually mid to high 300s, under 500 every time. Remember that line. No fancy finishes, no boutique nonsense. Barrel, lockup, and reset get the job done. On the range, it points true, feeds clean, and gives follow-ups that feel like practice, not punishment. You don't buy this to impress people at the gun counter. You buy it because it shuts off the target and makes you look competent. Boring on paper, deadly on target. Next one's ugly and loud. Wait till you see what it does though. I shoved this in a pocket and forgot it was there until I had to move fast. Under 500, usually under 300 if you hustle a deal, and that's the first thing you know. Small enough to vanish, but not so small you regret having it when things get messy. When I pulled it out at the line, I thought, huh? That little frame feels like it was built for slipping into places bigger guns can't go. The one I tested, the Celtic P11, fits like it was molded for my hand. It's brief in reach, but it finds the line you pointed at without a lot of drama. This isn't a showpiece. The trigger is blunt, the reset is basic, and you'll feel the recoil more than a larger gun. But that comes with compact territory. It rewards the kind of practice that makes draws smooth and reloads automatic. Feed it good mags and you'll get steady runs. Feed it junk and you'll learn the hard way. That trade-off is honest. Parts and accessories aren't fancy. Don't expect a luxury aftermarket. Expect a tiny pragmatic tool that lets you tuck and move without screaming gun. Train with it, test your mags, know your drill. It hides easy and works hard, but only if you do the work too. I'll be blunt. This gun shows up in jam lists for reasons you should expect. Under 500 and often under 250. Price gets it on the table, performance decides if it stays. I fed it everything from decent carry rounds to bargain bin practice ammo. Sometimes it chewed, sometimes it hiccuped. Enough hiccups to remind you cheap has strings. Still, on a clean set of mags and the right ammo, it puts strings on paper that make you nod. It's a trade. Know the trade before you buy into the price. Midway through my run, a particular mag and an off-brand box gave me stops. Not constant, not catastrophic, but enough that I call it out on camera. For my case, it wasn't 100% reliable. So here's the deal. Test 5 mags, test your actual carry ammo, and don't assume it'll forgive sloppy feeding. When you want the model, it was the Taurus G3C. Polymer frame, double stack mag, straightforward controls. The street price in 2025 is often around $200 to $300. If it runs clean for you after the test, it's a usable budget workhorse. If not, well, walk away then. You want capacity without the belly? That's the question in one line. Under 500 and usually in the mid 300s, that's what puts this model here. Test 1, concealment. It tucks and forgets. Test 2, draw and follow-ups. It's tidy if you practice the motion. Test 3, mags and feed. That's where you earn confidence or you bail. I ran those tests back to back. The concealment passed, the draws passed, The mags? One magazine and one ammo brand gave me trouble in my runs. Not a daily failure, not a showstopper everywhere, but enough to make me call it. For my case, it wasn't 100% reliable until I swapped mags. Do that test yourself. I'll name it right here so you don't hear it as a headline. Shield Plus. Specs: slim frame, expanded capacity options, optics ready variants. Price: mid 300s for base models. Performance variants go higher. Check SKU. If you run 5 mags, your carry load, and a 7-yard follow-up drill, and it cleans up, you keep it. If not, move on. One last thing. This one is subtle. The next gun is the opposite. Don't blink. An old-timer on the line shook his head and spat, "You're gonna run that against my fancy carry?" I told him to hand me the mags and shut up. We set a bed and ran 3 strings, same ammo, same distance. The first string made him quiet, the second string made him look twice, by the third string, the grin was gone. This thing kept its line and made me rethink a few assumptions. The pistol I had was the SDS T-Sauce 1911 Duty in 9mm. Price in 2025 moves around depending on the run, but some variants show up under 500. It's not perfect though. Some examples need fitment and a bit of break-in. Mags matter. Feed one bad mag and it'll remind you why people put nicer parts on old classics. When it's right, the single action is crisp, the lockup is solid, and the gun shoots with that old school 1911 rhythm that makes steady hits. If you test it the way we did and it cleans up with your mags and your ammo, it forces a conversation. If it doesn't, walk away and don't waste your time. Before ending it, just one line for this pistol. Tradition can be cheap, and sometimes it hits harder than the price suggests. I was 2 stops from my exit when my phone rang and my back snagged on the subway pole. Hands full, I fumbled, drew without thinking, and the motion was clear. That little ghost in my pocket steadied in my hand like it belonged there. It disappears under a thin jacket and doesn't shout when you move. Fast draws, tight index, no weird snagging on seams. That's the real first test. Same drill at the range later, and the follow-ups kept pace with my eyes. Not magic, just thoughtful design where concealment and function meet. That ghost was the Ruger Max 9. Street price in 2025 usually sits around $400 to $450, so it's under $500 without question. Slim frame, striker-fired reset, and a trigger that feels short for a micro. It's lively, not weak. You'll notice the recoil impulse more than a full size, but the reset helps you get the next shot faster. Holster fit matters here. Test it in the same carry position you plan to use. Run a week of pocket or appendix carry, then do a 7-yard follow-up drill with your carry load. If it moves with you and the print stays small, it's earned the spot. This one favors vanishability and speed. The next pick doesn't vanish, it makes you rethink why you carry it all. You want a gun that looks clean and then punches like it means business. Street price in 2025 usually sits in the mid-4s if you hunt the right variant, so know that before you drop it on the table. First strings told a quick story. The slide moved like it had a purpose, the grip found my hand, and the hits landed where I aimed. Follow-ups arrived steady, not frantic. That cadence felt deliberate, the kind that come from design choices that matter. Midway through the session, I stopped naming faults and started counting holes. That pistol in my hand was the Masada Slim Elite from IWI. Slim slide, striker timing that gives a fast reset, and a profile that hides without feeling compromised. Listen, I'm not soft on flaws. For my case, 1 ammo and 1 magazine combo hiccuped enough to matter. Not every sample, not every box, but enough that I won't carry this without swapping mags and running the exact drills I used. That honesty is the point here. Run 5 different magazines, shoot 5 strings at 7 yards, and try the exact carry load you plan to trust. If it cleans for you, it's earned its place. If it doesn't, move on without any guilt. It looks tidy and hits like it knows what it's doing. Wait for the last pick. It changes the game in a way you won't expect. Fast math first. You can buy a new compact that shoots like this for less than $500. Say that out loud and let it change how you listen. I didn't expect miracles. I expected a tidy compromise. What showed up was a compact that points like it knows the drill and a trigger that snaps back quick enough to help follow-ups. The pistol I tested mid-run was the CZP-10C. It's striker-fired, short reset, and it feels natural in the hand. Call it a budget pistol because base models and common street listings sit under $500, and that price makes modern ergonomics and a solid trigger reachable without selling out. It's accessible to real performance for less cash. Practical test. Try 5 mags with your carry round, run 7-yard follow-ups, and watch reset to sight. Caveat: optics ready or special editions push price higher, and some dealer listings vary, so verify the exact model before you state a hard number on camera. If it cleans up for your hands and your mags, it's earned a spot. If not, move on. Next one doesn't sneak, it forces a decision about why you carry. Compact, confident, and only as good as the mags you feed it, period. I slid it for my jacket and almost laughed. Tiny slide, neat lines, the kind of micro that looks like a novelty in photos. Then I ran a string and the reset felt like someone tuned it for real shots. New kits sit near the 500 mark depending on options, and used examples often drop below that if you hunt clean. Say that to yourself and you'll see why people put this on a budget list. Effin' 503. Modern striker feel, a grip that bites where it should, and a slide that tracks without fuss. It handed tidy follow-ups at 7 yards more often than I expected. That compact control matters when you're carrying. Reality check. Small guns are picky. Mag choice, ammo brand, and holster position change how this behaves. Test 5 mags, run 7-yard strings, carry it for a week, and see how it settles into your draw. If it cleans up for your hands and gear, you've got a modern micro you can live with. And if not, don't force it. I pulled XD Mod 3 from the bag and almost dismissed it. Looked too polished, too eager to please. Then I pressed the trigger once and realized it wasn't built for flash, it was built for rhythm. Most new ones go north of 500, but if you dig around for a clean used piece, you can make it fit under that line without feeling like you're cutting corners. First few strings told me enough. The slide cycles fast but smooth, the frame hugs your palm like it remembers you. That dot mount on top, it's not decoration, it's a challenge. Line it right and it feels like cheating. It isn't perfect though. Optics mounts, holsters, and ammo choice will all test your patience. I swapped parts till it stopped biting my draw, and only then did it start earning its place. Run 5 mags, carry it for a week, let it prove itself before you trust it. If it runs clean, you'll understand why people still talk about this design years later. If it doesn't, it'll remind you that even good guns can lose the fight when setup's wrong. Some folks spend a paycheck to buy peace of mind. I learned you could find it for half that if you know where to look. These guns prove that reliability doesn't come with a price tag, it comes from sweat, grit, and a little bit of faith. I've run every one of them until my hands ached, and a few still refuse to give up. That's the kind of gun you should remember. So before you chase the next big name out there, check the ones already doing the job quietly. These don't need fame, they just need a round in the chamber. This is your boy Steve, and I'll see you in the next one.